Hi, I'm Eileen Wyatt, and I'm here this morning at the opening of the new Second Glance store here on Route 28 with the executive director of the food pantry, Mary Anderson, to my right, and the manager of the Second Glance store, Lorraine Cowie, to my left. Mary, would you like to give us a little background history on how this whole idea of the Second Glance store came about?
Sure, Eileen. It was about 4.5 years ago, and we were inundated with clothing at the pantry. We've always had clothing that we make available at no cost to our clients. And the manager of the boutique, Claudia Crockett, was always saying to me, "You got to help me get rid of these clothes, Mary. You got to help me get rid of them." And the board was always looking for ways to make money, additional revenue. And a friend of mine said, "You're crazy, Mary. You're trying to make money. You've got too many clothes. Open a thrift shop." So I thought, well, I don't know. There's thrift shops on every corner on the Cape, but we took a leap of faith. I don't think all of the board was with me on the initial decision, but they did go forward with it. And 4 years later, Second Glance Thrift Shop is our biggest source of revenue.
And we had to expand, believe it or not, with all of the donations that have been given to the family pantry for the shop. We have expanded to this new and beautiful facility, and I'm very excited that we have this here. I work on Wednesday afternoons, and I know that there were a lot of people, Mary, that came to help set it up.
There certainly are. The way it works, where we are a nonprofit, is it's almost all volunteer-based. There's one full-time staff member, myself, and 2 very part-time staff members, and then close to 300 volunteers. So it doesn't work without the volunteers. And the biggest volunteer is Lorraine Cowie, the shop manager. This would not be possible without Lorraine. She stepped up to the plate right after we opened and said, "Gee, I think I'd like to be involved. I'll help run that." And from there, it's all been on Lorraine's shoulder, heart and soul, and her probably 50 volunteers that work at the thrift shop. And we'd like to, Lorraine and I and Eileen would like to thank all of them. Not just there were a bunch that worked over here setting up, and, you know, we have new racks, we have a new desk, and getting the clothes ready. But then there were also the team that stayed behind at Cross Street and ran an incredible sale. We tried to mark things down. I think it was half price the last month or so. So that crowd just kept things going. Lorraine was not about to miss a day of revenue. Then our boutique volunteers back at the pantry who do the sorting. And Lorraine has made a concerted effort to get them over here to the boutique so they can see better the type of things that we want. And she's gone to meetings with the boutique ladies to answer their questions. Then it is mostly a women's operation, but we did need some guys for opening, and they are few enough that I can name them. One is John Holman, who you'll see on the tour later, made they're like tables or shelves, I'm not sure what to call them, for the windows so that we could have items raised in the windows for good visibility. We had that at Cross Street, and Betty Ann Holman, who does the windows, and her husband John weren't about to lose that opportunity. So John did a fabulous job. They're like finished pieces of art. Custom-made furniture. Then Ray Sacramone and Sam Simonis, who you never know what they're going to do. They volunteer in a million different ways, but they have created the dressing rooms. They helped put things together over here. They're just 2 guys who are always there when you need them. Pete Moyna, who is one of our directors on the board with Lorraine, teaches at the alternative high school at Harwich, and he brought his students over to set up all of these new racks. They did a fabulous job, a group of 5 or 6 kids. They also moved anything Lorraine wanted moved. It was great to have a group of teenagers for the heavy lifting. And then my own dear husband, Handyman Bob, he was the delivery service. We had a bunch of stuff delivered to our house, and at night, when he was done work, we'd haul it over here and leave it for Pete to set up the next day. So that's the crowd.
Yes, and it takes a village to raise a new store, right, Lorraine?
Exactly right.
And I want to thank Lorraine while I have a chance for the wonderful thank you luncheon that she provided for all of the volunteers here yesterday. It was a very nice chance for all of us to meet people who work on other days of the week than what we work. And it was wonderful to have a tour of the new facility And it was just nice to sit and have a glass of wine and enjoy a sandwich. Thank you, Lorraine.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure to have all of the volunteers at the pantry, Second Glance, and as Mary said, all the gentlemen that helped us in this huge effort to get the store open today. And it could not be done without all the volunteers.
And we had fun doing it. I remember one night we were here setting up, and a friend of mine and myself found a new jacket for Mary Anderson that she is modeling this morning. Yes. We saw it, we were tagging it and ironing it, and we said, you know what? This is Mary. And sure enough. So that's one of the benefits of working here. When you get to have a first-hand look at what has come over here that has been chosen by the ladies of the boutique at the pantry. And when we further sort it and get it ready for sale, we get a chance to look and see what's good for ourselves as well. So it's a win-win situation, and I know that volunteers are always needed, Mary.
Yes, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's new here at the thrift shop, Second Glance. And what's new is a bigger shop and a new address, 563 Main Street. We're right next to Dino's restaurant, so you can have a bite to eat and come in and shop. So that's what's new, and more space. So there'll be more things and even better ability to see what's here. But I want to talk about what hasn't changed. Our hours haven't changed. We'll be open in the summer, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4, and we'll also be open each evening that there's music in the port. It is an all-volunteer operation, so when you come in here to make a purchase, this is all volunteers donating their time to help support the pantry. All proceeds go back to the pantry, where we support over 900 households each month. And those households come from every town on Cape Cod. So you're getting a good bargain, and your money is really going to support people on the Cape that need a little help. So we still rely on donations. Everything here is donated. We would ask that you continue to bring those donations to the pantry. It is bigger, but we're trying to have it be bigger for a shop and not for storage. So I need the items brought to the pantry. The pantry's at 133 Queen Anne Road, and the best times to drop off are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, 7 a.m. to noon. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays we have an afternoon shift, 1:30 to 3:30, and then our newest shift is Thursday evening, 5 to 7. So those are the best times, but if someone can't make that time, please give us a call, and Patty Watson, the assistant director, or myself will make an appointment to meet you. And our number is 508-432-6519. And last but not least, we are always looking for volunteers. Lorraine tells me she could use some team leaders here to help her manage the store and someone to work in the jewelry department. So those are two specific needs, but there are always needs here for general volunteers as well as at the pantry. We have needs for people working with the food, the clothing, the garden, a variety of tasks. So if anyone's interested, call Patty Watson, again at the pantry, 508-432-6519.
Thank you, Mary. And in addition to volunteers, you can help. Those of you in the audience that are watching this today can help by also looking through your closets. And when you come through your jewelry box and you think to yourself, you know, I don't wear that anymore, pack it up and bring it over to the pantry and let the girls at the boutique sort through things and bring them over here so that we can make this an even more magnificent stream of revenue for the family pantry. Thank you so much for your time, Mary, and thank you, Lorraine, so much for your time. And now, Betty Ann Holman, I would like you to come and tell us a little bit about your dressing of the windows and how your husband made these custom-made tables that we'll be seeing on the tour in a little bit.
Well, first of all, I think he'd feel really happy that you're so impressed with them. But I also am impressed with them, and the reason being that in the other shop, if you drive by Cross Street or you've been in Cross Street, you know that the level of viewing was up probably about 2.5 feet from the floor.
Yes.
And when we walked in here and we realized that we had a different situation. We knew that we had to have some kind of a raise of the platform. So John came up with this idea, and midway through it, he discovered that he was also making these shelves or small tables to put overheating vents. So that meant an additional sort of challenge, but he worked it out, and I'm really pleased with the way it came out. The most important thing, I think, is that this boutique is really a unique boutique. And the reason I say that is that from the time you walk in the door here, I think you're pretty overwhelmed with the spirit of the place, the freshness of it, the brightness of it, the fact that, as a matter of fact, last week when I was setting things up, someone came to the door and said, "May I give you my resume? I'd like to work in this new women's shop." And so that made me very, very happy. So I think what will happen this summer is as more people come into town, they will also discover that this store is really very much on a par with many of the stores in our vicinity. So, you know, we're going to be competition for everybody, but the best part of this community is it is a community. And where one store benefits, all stores benefit. So I'm really looking forward to the fact that we're going to have a great repartee between the various businesses here. So the windows are, as you see them, they will constantly be changing. Watch for color schemes. Watch for the fact that, for example, I just found out Madras is in. So in two weeks or less, you'll have a Madras window. So, you know, we try to keep current, and we try to offer you everything that we would choose if we had the money to buy everything in this store. Many of us probably would. So it's very high quality merchandise with great thanks to the people of the community who've taken things which are in excellent, excellent condition and brought them here. And the loyal volunteers have worked hard to make sure there are no spots, there's no wear, and they're beautifully pressed and absolutely clean and with no fragrance other than a very fresh smell. So I really, really invite you to please come here and try it. Friends of mine who've never been in thrift shops now shop at second glance.
And I find that we have regulars, so we call them, people who come on certain days of the week and enjoy seeing the same people that volunteer and check in. It's sort of a social time as well as a shopping time. And as we women know, shopping can be social. So it's all one and the same, right, Mary? So please come on down to the new Second Glance on Route 28 next to Dino's and see for yourself all of the beautiful items that we have here. And now we're going to have a tour of all of the different and various departments that this new larger facility has given us the chance to do. And now Betty Ann has graciously agreed to give us a tour of Second Glance, starting with the beautiful windows that she has so graciously decorated, and I love the color schemes.
Okay, so we'll start with the window. This is what will bring you into the shop, we hope. So take a peek at the window and notice that there are items specifically here for women, although we also serve men as well, and all kinds of items. Right here we featured clothing. Our far window actually has clothing and also household items and gift items.
Wonderful, thank you. And now we're going to step inside. And we're starting here in the women's department. As you can see behind Betty Ann, there's some lovely bathing suits. And we have some shoes and some lovely dresses to the right. In the middle, there's capris and shorts and pants and skirts. And over on the wall there are all kinds of toppers, shirts and jackets and hoodies and just some lovely items. And we also, of course, have a men's department. Right, Betty Ann?
Yes, we do. Up here in the front, right next to checkout, so the men don't have to walk too far. We have clothes for men, hats, sporting goods, everything that they could use on a summer day.
And here we are in the jewelry department where my team leader, Susan Harrington, for the day of Wednesday is our able leader, and we have two of the volunteers in the morning, Maureen Ullman, and also we have Charlotta Reinders. Thank you, Charlotta. I couldn't think of your last name. And now we're going to the next department back here. Now, Betty Ann, we're going from the purse and pocketbook and wallet department to the domestics department.
Yes, including everything from casserole dishes to large-size cookers to yarn for people who are doing their knitting this summer.